welcome back to Timberborn and probably the last episode of our Emberpelts series. What I want to try and achieve: finish building the Tesseract, get the bad water divert done in under here, our main water source, and finish up the wonder, which they just need to finish building. So what I'm going to do, and it might end up with this being a shorter video because performance of the game is pretty rough, because we've built that huge power thingy. I'm going to do the design work, and I haven't really planned it out yet. I've just got a rough idea in my brain, but we're going to do the design work over here to deal with the bad water. I'm then going to let them build it off camera, and we'll finish building the Tesseract off camera, and then we will come back. So we need to get access into here is the first thing, and I think probably the easiest way to do that is maybe to come down off of here. So let's do that. Actually, probably what we could do is come across there. Yeah, we could do that. We've got ladders on here, so we could make use of those. I quite like that somewhat janky solution. That gets us to there. And honestly, I don't know why I said honestly. What we should probably just do is from there, come in there. Yeah. So that gets us to that bit. Right. So for each one, we want an exit. And I'm going to do that, and that's going to be a close above contamination 1%. And we're going to need to put a lid over these as well, obviously. And I want to try and collect up the bad water. So we've got one there. So what I think would be sensible, our path is there. So if I grab some more path, run it along there, we're going to go up there. I'm going to dynamite that. We'll put another one there, and we'll bring more clean water that way. Yep. I'm going to seal up there. And that. Now, I think there's a lot of water power in here. So actually, we might want to make that more than one wide. And we might want to make this more than one wide. And we might want to make that exit more than 1 wide. So let's do that. Then I'm going to come across there like that. And these are they're all single strength. Turn off dev mode. Just 1, 2, 3. Just a lot of water sources in there, isn't there? So they're still working on getting to that. Let's at least run the game at double speed. We can put another ladder there. You can come up there and across there. Should be able to work out a way of enclosing that. That'll have that there. And then I want to come down here. They're building that from above. Yeah. Oh, they can build through those. Okay, because it's not solid terrain. Awesome. Well, that makes things a little bit easier. I think what we'll do is I'm going to widen all of that out. And remember, folks, I don't plan all of this. I'm just kind of winging it. So you don't think it looks perfectly exactly right? It might not. It might not. So hopefully, yep, I can get to those now. That's good. And then my plan. So we need to get. Now maybe we just let these two join together. So we just have this be open. And that means I probably need to make that even wider. Maybe we let them all join together. An interesting theory, because we could blast that bit out as well. If I took that bit out, so all three could join together. That gives us a good source of good water going out. Yeah, I like that idea. In fact, we, in that case, don't necessarily need this one. We have good water able to go both ways, out that way and that way. Yeah. Going to get rid of that. I'm going to join all of those together. So, sluice gate there. And that one's also going to be for good water. So this will basically send clean water both sides. That joins them together. Do that. Let's put impermeable floors over the top of that. And that. Let's do that. Do I want those to be deeper so they can handle more water? Maybe, actually. Yeah. Let's do that. And then this, which is a pretty wide thingy. I'm gonna fill that out as well. Yep. Yep, yep. I'm gonna put a terrain block. No, we're gonna close that. That should be okay. We might need that there. And then that come through there. I'll get to those. That'll be okay. We'll blast those out and then we'll put the platforms in. Yeah. I guess we could run a path all the way around there. But I think as well, I'm going to keep this as a freshwater exit. So rather than building all of that terrain, we're just going to come in here and then put in, if we put them across there, that should help minimize trapping of bad water in there, I think. But the reason being that will allow more edges for the clean water to flow out. What I'm thinking. And we should now be able to blow all of this up. If the game will allow it to occur. And remember, it's H to explode things. Yes, that makes sense. I don't know why it makes sense, but it made sense in my head at some point that H was to explode things. And then we're going to put in some sluices. So I'm going to put them in at a relatively wide point. And then we're going to close below contamination 1%. So that gives us that. And then we're going to need to put a lid on all of that. And we also need them to be able to build the rest of this. So we're going to come in there. That will let them build all of that explosives. This needs this. This is no. Good English, huh? Me English speak good. This needs to have impermeable floors on. And we need to seal these. I'm actually wondering if we really want to do that, or if we want to think about how we're going to close these off. What I'm thinking initially is something like that. But then what I'm thinking is that if we went down a level, they can build those. We could put 6s across, and then we could come above them. That might be better. Then over here, maybe we do the same thing. So if we came in here and put in some double explosives like that, put some 6s all the way across, might work. We can always rebuild it if it doesn't, but yeah, kind of thinking on my feet with this one, as to how to try to do this in an enclosed space where we've got to build over such a large amount of water sources. So yeah, what I'm thinking is if we did that, then we can build out. So I am going to put those there based on the assumption that we can do the same thing here, and that'll let us blast those out as well. Yeah. Because then what we can do is we can do that, that, that. We can go there. We can go there. Not like that. Yeah, fool. There. There. Yeah, that'll seal. Yep. That'll seal. That'll work. If we blow those up. And then we'll want that. Yeah, I'm vaguely confident. Vaguely confident. That we can do something with this. We need to get down into there. Prioritize those because we can still get there. Do 6s. 6s do reach all the way across there, so we can then repeat that process. Like that. There we go. I feel like I'm missing something doing this. I know I need to put impermeable floors in, but I feel like I'm missing something. And I don't know what it is. I guess those, it would probably be sensible to do the same. And then we can repeat that process again. Actually, that's turning out not to be that painful a process. Then we need to get it up and away once we've filtered it out. But because it's pressurized, that shouldn't be too bad. That shouldn't be too bad. And after a bit of a break, I'm back. Obviously, no time passed for you, but it passed for me. And I now have a bit of a headache. But hey, such is life, I guess. Probably save a little bit of time if we did that. Maybe. I don't know. You can get up there onto there. I don't know if we need a path across there or not. And it didn't actually seem to take. So there we go. We could do that, couldn't we? Yeah, we could. And I think I saw that. Yep, our dynamite is set there. So let's detonate that. Get the game running at triple speed. Let's come in here. Let's put our double platforms in. And then we need a whole bunch of impermeable floors. So let's throw those in. That doesn't need to be there, I don't think. Nope. There we go. So we need to fill in some more gaps. Just like Adrian does. Anyone get the reference? Anyone? Right, that's that done. They can get there now, which is good. I guess if I throw... might be beneficial to put a ladder there so I can get all that dynamite in. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's actually going quicker than I thought. Now, there is the whole... we've got to deal with the bad water. You need to go down to there. In fact, I think I might have set that one already. I did. But anyway. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. We've still got to deal with this. Without here. Deal with the inside voice first. How are we doing for materials? We're okay. We're okay. That's built. Awesome. Hopefully they'll place land explosives now. And once we come out of here, I'm going to just level, put you there. Let's detonate those. Yep. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Nope. Nope. We're gonna need that. And that. And maybe actually really. Oh. Free camera went a bit too free there. Again at that stuff from the top. Get that one? Yep, they can. I'm guessing they can get that stuff as well. Yep. Yep. Right. Are we still working on that as well? We are. We're just building everything. We're building all of the things. Let's focus our attention deep inside. Focus inside yourselves, inside your mind. You're at peace with yourself. You're probably not. You're probably deeply turmoiled. It's too long. You have not heard that before, have you? No. It's not what she said. There we go. Awesome. And then that was unnecessary, but hey, we did it anyway because we could. You can go. If I no. So I think I want to blast those out. You can have a path coming along there. And then again, we repeat. Oh, I've messed up a little bit there, folks. I do not need to detonate that for more. I've gone too deep. Don't you do it. You messed up, lad. You messed up. That was fine like that. You're fine just the way you are. So we can do that. We can do that. Impermeable floor, not a sluice gate. There. Yeah. And then you're a 6. Yeah. That's right. And in that case, you could be a 6 as well. If you wanted to be. No, you couldn't. You're a 5. And then you go on there. Like that. And you go there. Then we go 3, 4s, 5. No, another 4. 4. And a 3. A 3, yep. There is a little bit of a bottleneck there. So I'm wondering if we should open this up a little bit. Because all of the bad water's got to get through that. There's 3 there, but... let's put in the walls of non-permeability. There we go. More impermeable floors. There we go. But yeah, I think we come there. We detonate that. Give us a bit more flow through capacity there. Just detonate that. Now we're going to come out from there. Like that. No, that needs to be une double. And 5. And that needs to be detonated. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yep. Yeah, that's better. Then we need to get rid of that. Cover all of that. And impermeable floor it. And get that. And that should have sealed the water sources in. And then we can delete that. Because we'll come out this way to there. And we'll go. No, we won't go over them. Keep the sluices uncovered just so I can see where they are. Although I quite like the uniformity of the design. And then. I think probably the best thing to do is to quickly bring up the bad water. So let's come here like that. Trying to think where I want to dump it. We need to be going that way. I could just go straight over the top of that. I don't hate that. Yeah, I don't hate that actually. So we come out of there like that. There. 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 This is excessively large, this part. I get that. Do not forget, folks, overkill is underrated. Sorry, I'm pondering. To there. Suppose we better fill in the bottom. Impermeable floor. Yep. There. You can go there. You can go there. So we want to go up one more level. Yes. Awesome. There we go. There we go. Let's pause one of those. Bring a path over. Let's get some more impermeable floors going on. So that's to there. There. 5, 5. Nope. That I screwed up. What I can do, hide that with that. There. There. Come on. More floors of impermeability. So there, 1, 2. So I think there. Not sure about the height. Never mind the height. What about the length? No. In fact, that might work out better if we go there. The age-old problem of being a bit short. There. There. Perfect. So let's fill in all of that. Do that. And then turn that off. There. There. Like that. There. There. Yeah, so we're then going to need to use group platforms. There. there. I think this could be the last video I record in update 6. And then I think what we'll do is we'll come down here like that. And we'll come across here. And across there. And that should work. And if we delete that one, we can put in a path that runs out. And I think we're going to have one slight problem, but actually, no, they can still get to the base of those. So I think we're good there. We might just have a problem building that dirt that I need to give them access to. That's all in. So I think if I put get rid of that, if I put a ladder there, that's going to help as well. And some pathage. And we just have a heck of a lot of building to do. So you know the deal, folks. Sounded very JC, didn't it? Someone I've not watched in a very not insignificant amount of time lately because I've been watching other things. But we're going to get a bunch of this built. And I will be back once they've done it. And hopefully I haven't made too many mistakes. And if I have, I'll fix them as I go. Folks, so I'm back. I just wanted to check that this thing was watertight. So I've closed all of the sluices and it appears to be. So I'm going to reopen them, or I'm going to set them back to auto. And there is quite a lot of water pressure, obviously. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. We just have clean water coming towards the colony because the bad water that's flowing through this is being directed off the map this way. Yeah, and we could focus it even more by not having the water coming this way. Because I guess this isn't actually having a real benefit. I suppose it is coming around there. It might be beneficial to actually dam across here. I wonder if I did it there. Yeah, they can build that. I built that as a priority, because that would then push the clean water towards the colony rather than away from the colony, which would be good. I wonder is built. I've not set it off yet because, you know, that's something that we'll do later on. This is getting built reasonably quickly. Certainly not super slowly, but yeah, I think maybe a bit of preferential direction of the water wouldn't be a bad idea. This has still got plenty of building to do, so I am going to have to let the game run for a wee while, which means this video might be a bit later out than it should have been, because it's already later in the day than it should be for me getting this video finished. But I am quite curious to see what happens once this dam is in place. Because it's not going to completely stop the flow, but whether it will be enough, or whether we should have used Levi's. There's quite a narrow gap through here. To push more of it that way. And it's kind of ending up around here anyway. This is obviously kind of cool because this is all fresh water now. It's interesting how we've changed the fluid dynamics of the map quite substantially with this change. I think I'm going to change these again to be, or not to be levees with then dams on top. I also kind of want to do down here, but I don't know if we can get down here easily now. I don't think we have easy access. Oof, watch that FPS die. And we can make access, can't we? We still have... Oh, it's closed off, isn't it? Because of the power connection. Yeah, we can make access. Seriously hungry. Haven't eaten really any real food today, actually. I've just realized. And it's almost the end of the day. Day's kind of got away from me. Those of you that know will relate to that, I'm sure. But yeah, what we're going to do is come in here and do the same thing. So we will levy and then a larger wall of dams. So I'm going to make that, come on, a priority, which means I need to make these a priority. Come on. There we go. Cool. So yeah, that one's built. And it's still flowing over it. But equally, I think more of it's going this way now. We could probably help that as well by, can we get there? We can get there, we can get there. Yes. We can blast that out as well. That's getting done. That's all getting done. In fact, that's done. So we could come now and put in that. Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I guess the apparent significant change in water flow is much more just because it's clean water, I think. More than anything else. And it's the first time really that we've had a map that's all clean water. Apart from this little bit. Let's detonate that. That should let a lot more through that way. And maybe less out this way. It's all very complicated. I don't think we can get to any of this bit. No. No. But, you know, that hopefully, once they get this built as well, because that's then going to push more of that clean water back the other way. And do I just... I'm just going to do it. It's only logs, and we've got 16,000 of them. So, and experimenting with this stuff is kind of interesting. So, let's do that. You know? It's not going to hurt anything, I don't think. He says, famous last words, unintended consequences and all that. The water pumps are pumping, hopefully. They are, in fact, full. Let's get these prioritized by haulers. Make sure our water pump, they're pumping, that's filled up. They're pumping, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. It's interesting. We've actually got something interesting to challenge us to look at. That seems to have sorted it. That seems to have sorted it. And that's going to push the water this way, which is what we want. This one seems to be high enough. Be capturing most of the water. Because this should be able to handle a lot more flow because we were putting all of the bad water through it. So, you know. And now what we want is a bad tide to come. Once we finish building this stuff. We do need to build these. I'm just gonna do select it, that. That'll work. And if I do that and that and that and that and prioritize those, they'll be able to build that from both sides, which will be quicker. So that's done. That hopefully is okay with how the overhang works. So that side's working. Awesome. That side's working. Awesome. So that's pushing all of the clean water through this way now. Good stuff. This is now all clean water. That is so different. So different. So all we need now is to finish building it and get a bad tide. And as it's night time, and I think that is the perfect time to set this off. There we go. So 965 days, 1,298 beavers, 15,000 water, 9,000 tails planted, 177,000 trees, 2,500 bots. Not bad. 63 well-being. And it's a drought approaching. So, yeah. Once this is finished... and we've still got to finish the Tesseract as well. Actually, there's a lot of building to do on that. I need to let the game run for a significant amount of time, I think. But we also need the bad tide thingy to come. So, 20k water. We actually need more water pumping going on, I think. But we've got a nice big reservoir now with this one and this one that we can pump out of. So I'm not really worried. Not really. It's so weird seeing the map clean. And we've just got this little corner of contamination. But that contamination is generating us 130,000 HP. So, you know, it's not too bad really, is it? Right, they're done. So you can go. So we've just got to build those. Right. I'm going to let this thing run. Get this finished. Get this beastie finished. Actually, I mean, that could be turned into a reservoir, couldn't it? With a bit of work. Not that we really need it. But with a little bit of work, oh, the free camera is kind of funky. If we matched, that's at level 4. Yeah, if we came over here, did it in here, and did something like that. Maybe even one higher. Yeah. Let me delete you. There you go. There. Actually, we don't even need to do... Yeah, we could just do that. And then that. In fact, all the work I did dynamiting stuff didn't really matter, did it? Because it was limited by that. But if I put that in, that's going to turn that into a reservoir. Of rather significant proportions. Actually, we could then do some cool things. Might do that in the drought once the water level goes down. I think if we raise this one up enough, and this one, we could have the water flow back through. I'll do that during the drought and let you guys see it at the end. But yeah, we need to finish building this, so I'm going to let the game run for however long it takes, and I see you later. This video will be late. Sometime later. Potentially even 2 days later. Not entirely sure. It's done. I think it's done anyway. Pretty sure it's done. I've been through and checked. I think all of the power connections are in. I think everything else is done. So we can turn it on. I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. The only thing that's not done yet is the connection up. I'm leaving that because I like the idea of seeing how much power the other two levels generated separately. So I think what remains is for us to come in here and close these and make sure that these are set to open and wait. The game looks a little bit rubbish. Let me just check my settings again. Yeah, that's right. Anti-aliasing was switched off. Not sure that will make much difference. I tried reducing the settings a lot so that I could run the game at a higher FPS and a faster speed, and it didn't work. So I just basically had to wait and be patient for things to happen. So yeah, that was that. In the meantime, I have significantly increased the height of this. I put in a sluice gate as well because I paused. The other thing that I tried doing was pausing the lower levels of this to see if that improved performance a bit. With the water wheels not spinning, it didn't really, but that meant this filled with bad water. So I put a sluice in so that it'll empty. I built this up quite a high level. And I put some platforms all across, so this will now flow through into here. Because my plan is to be able to put some mechanical water pumps on here, because this is going to be quite a nice big reservoir. And I've put a power connection here, so that we can take power out. You might also notice that our battery charge is much higher. So as this starts to fill up, this is going to take quite a while. I'm leaving the bridges in just in case there's anything we need to fix, to be perfectly honest. Let's meander over here, shall we, to the latest FPS killer, which is for large flywheels. So these add in another 480,000 stored power, and they look kind of cool. I think I love the design of these. I've loved them since JC first showed them off, and I put some dams across here as well. just to try and trap a little bit of water for a little while. It won't last long, but you know, why not? Why not? We don't really need to store more power. Just thought it looked cool. The other change that I've made, I have if we spin down here, I've set these to be open, so the clean water will flow through here as well. And then I've put these in so that clean water can flow out of here as well. But then these will close when there's contamination, and the bad water will flow up through here. I thought that might be cool. So yeah, that's that. So far, we've filled the first level. We're getting a bit of overflow going on. And that's gonna, I guess, sort itself out, hopefully. 37,000 HP and rising. So yeah, this should sort itself out in the same way that it did as it all pulled its way through previously. We might need to build this up a little bit. Just thinking, actually, I might have screwed up building this very top bit. Because we've not got... Yeah, I think I did, actually. Yeah, I think I screwed up building the top piece. Because what we've not got is the bits to accelerate the water. So we need to adjust that. And nothing like a plan, is there? Nope, there's not. So what we need to do is come in here. It's because it was so long ago since I designed this thing. But that should be a relatively easy fix in theory, he says, as it appears to be sorting itself out anyway. Okay, maybe I don't need to do that. Fair enough. Just disprove what I was saying. Yeah, just go ahead and disprove that for me. Why don't you? So, second level is going through its phase of doing its thing. We should probably speed the game up because it's going to take quite a while to pull all of that through, I think. And the performance is going to be pretty dreadful while it sorts itself out. So what we're going to do is come down here and ignore that for a bit. And delete that. Power. Potentially the last time we use these power shafts. And I'm recording this as update 7 is live. Where are you? Automated water pump. Where's the entrance? It's that side. And this will be massively excessive and unnecessary in most ways, because we can easily pump all of the water that we need. But, you know, why not? As the saying goes, overkill is underrated. So... why not completely destroy any hope of having any FPSs? Actually, that worked out way better than I expected. So yeah, we just need to kind of wait now and let this thing fill up and refill and see how we end up. The other thing we're going to need with all of that is a lot of water storage. So, let's enable that, I guess. And this is probably not... Are they coming over here? I'm not actually sure. Oh, they might be going all the way around. Oh, they're going all the way around to build that, I think. Yeah. Yep, that's what they're doing. That's okay. It doesn't really matter. You. And we don't necessarily need more water storage or more water pumping capacity. But, you know, doesn't hurt. Right, they've got some of that built while I was dealing with PUP. So let's put these in. Let's set this to be agua. My annoying arse neighbour has started playing loud music, which is great when you're feeling a bit crap. We are getting sorted with this slowly, so it's down 1, 2, 3, 4 levels now. So we have to give it a bit of time to get itself sorted. Most of the water pumps are built. These will want to be prioritized by haulers. Ideally, these would want to be linked to a stream gauge as well. And I'm just really, I don't know why I decided to build all of these, because we really don't need them. But I was a little bit concerned at the rate the water went up when the last drought ended. So yeah, that's kind of why, I guess. And then really we want, say we want a stream gauge somewhere like that, that we can then hook up to all of them at some point. And probably to build a load more water storage in the long term if we were to keep playing, but we're ending things, so yeah. So top layer is currently generating 47,000, second layer 43. There is a slight drop off as you come down, so you'll see we then go to 99 because it's the rest of the thing. So I'm not worried that there's any missed things in here, I don't think. I don't think there are. I'm just trying to look quickly without going kind of cross-eyed, because it's really hard on the eyes. think they're all there, and if they're not, you know what? It's so much power that it really doesn't matter. And we're getting close to being all the way around, I think. The bottom wheels at the bottom are starting to spin. Got a bit of leakage down here. We're close to having water flow again, which is great. I want to do a quick test on this. I'm then going to cycle so we get a bad side so we can just test it. And then we're going to call it a day. Because I would like to get this video out tomorrow, which is Friday, which is later than I wanted. But you know what? Life happens. It's not the end of the world. And then we will move on to update 7. I want to do one more video on, hopefully one more video on the Forsaken Cove series. And then we're going to switch over to probably a Iron Teeth update 7 series and just one series so that we can kind of hammer through and make progress more quickly. That's how I prefer to do these. It just makes life a little bit easier as well. So, yeah, we just needed to get this little bit of dribble sorted. And have things finish flowing through. But the top half's probably settled. So we're at 43 and 47. So let's have a look at hooking the rest of this up. So we want some vertical power shafts. We need you. We need a T. We need more vertical power shafts. And we need a top piece. And we need straight power shaft. There we go. And yeah, that's gonna be that. Yeah, it's doing a fine job of killing the performance of my computer. But it's been an interesting challenge to put together. I think the next time I suggest something like this, someone remind me of the impact on performance and tell me that I don't need to generate this much. Because we have so much excess. Even the bottom 2 layers are generating more power than we need. Bottom 3 layers. A single layer is more power than we need. So, yeah. Someone point out to me that I don't need to do this in the future. If we want to play after we've done something like this, I think a small project like this is a really good idea because it gives us permanent power. But doing it on this scale is dumb. Not dumb. It's been interesting, but not necessary. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah. But hey, we survived a 150-day drought. No, 130-day drought in the end. We didn't get 150-day drought, but it was, you know, with the way the Emberpelts work, it becomes inconsequential, really, because of the juices and things. Droughts are not really a challenge once you've got established. They are, I'm going to regret saying this in the future probably, they are a easier faction to play with, I think, because of things like the juices. Now there's a lot more room for me to have improved their well-being. I have far from maxed it out. But yeah, I think there's the juices make it much easier to survive long term because you can grow drink. As long as you have a stable food supply, you're probably okay. This has been a brilliant map to play on. Really enjoyed this map. Quite an interesting one to tackle. Early on, it had some challenges, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. We are now up to 112,000 HP. Come on, game, you can keep playing. Right, drought is over. The water's going to be flowing in all sorts of random directions now. Hopefully. Come down here. Hopefully we're going to start. Yep, there we go. We should start getting water flowing soon. It's just needed to refill the pits that it sits in. Right, there we go. So we are generating, let's call it 160,000 HP. That's not awful, is it? That's not awful. In theory, it could be a lot more. But I think the problem is that, when you'll see, we are at this end, we're right at the top of the flow, and then so to get more liquid going through, you'd have to have a drop in the stack, and I think someone better at TIMBERBORN fluid stuff could maybe get more power out of this setup. Maybe Zedic could probably do more because the guy understands this stuff way better than I do. But I'm happy with what I've got. I think this is quite cool. So this is interesting. I guess we're getting some edge issues here, which is interesting foretelling for the bad tide. So we need to adjust this. Right. We can still get up here, so let's deal with it, shall we? In fact, we have a path that runs to there, so what we can do is rather inelegantly let's do that, and let's do that. And let's prioritize those, and hopefully they can get to them. Because it looks like we have an edge issue. And that's creating all sorts of fun. Those are open, yeah. If I hadn't done that, we'd have never seen this chaos, would we? Boy, is this chaos. The alternative is we just make this taller so that it can cope with more capacity. Because this is coping. So maybe my fallback plan, and I'm a fan of having more than one plan, is we start to think about doing that. But this might actually, that might have sorted it. Oh. Tell me I finally understand TIMBERBORN fluid mechanics. No, you can stop. Come on, game. Pause. You can all stop for now. Fact. More than stopping. Maybe I was overconfident. Is it enough? It's improved it. Do we go more? So maybe in that case we need to do there and there as well. Our reservoir is as full as it's going to get. But I love how this game just throws little problems at you right at the end. I love it. I really do. Really do. I wish I hadn't changed it. I wish I hadn't changed it and said we were good. Except that I'd planned to do a bad tide as well, and this would have been highlighted during that. And in theory, we're going to be putting a lot more water through this during a bad tide, because of all of this is going to come through there as well. So as nice as the elegant solution is, I actually think I'm going to go for the inelegant solution. Mainly because I don't want to spend the next half an hour trying to use a scalpel. So we are going to use a sledgehammer. So you can go, and well, you can go like that. Then we're going to need you and probably a bunch path. So let's do that. And yep, it's not so pretty, it's not so elegant, but do you know what? Sometimes pretty and elegant is not the solution. And right now, I just want effective. Yeah. Let's just get this guy built. What I'm actually thinking is it would be way more effective if we did that. Because then they could re-access the inside and build a lot of that from inside. And that's going to be way, way quicker. Yep. I'm really pleased with the power supply now from the Tesseract. 166,000 HP. Well, some of that's coming from other bits and pieces that we've got as well. We just need to sort this out because ultimately we're going to be closing all of them. And it's kind of annoying that these aren't letting through that much. It gives you an idea of just how much water is flowing through this, I guess, that we're ending up shooting some off the map. And probably what would be wise would be having some sluices here to just let this overflow. But, you know, having sluices here or something, but right, they're in. So they should now be getting most of this built pretty quick. I'm going to prioritize this bit because it's the faffy bit. But they can only build one piece at a time. Yeah, there's just so much water coming up through that compared to these. I mean, it's not a problem. It's not like we're short of water. There's plenty of water filling up all of the places we need it. Eventually. I think it just shows that maybe this could be better. Could be better. And that what we were letting through wasn't as much when we were just holding it back with what we were doing before. There's a lot of water ripping through there. And if I let it overspill over all of that, it's going to end up going off the map anyway. So we're very quickly refilling the water supply, which is good. Yeah, I mean, you can even see there was water coming out of these things. And there's 4 of them open, and it's like they're not doing anything. I kind of wonder now if we were to go in here and close you. If we if we close all of these and you, so it's all ripping through this. Then what does it do? Wow. Is it gonna sort itself? Is it gonna crash? Is it gonna sort itself? God, that's a lot of water. The answer is no. We have failed. I guess that was somewhat obvious from the way it kind of fountains out of stuff when we open it. Come on, let me get to... Just open. Right. Closed system, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Right. Time or something a bit different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we did that, and then those, yep. Might as well do them that way as well. One approach doesn't work. Try another. That's what we're going to do. There we go. Landscaping, impermeable floors. If we can't beat them one way, we will beat them another way. Do you think while I'm at it, which is going to upset the beavers going that way? I'm going to do that. And close above 1%. That. Come on. But it's kind of funny that even with that gaping hole in the side, There's still water flowing out there at a not inconsiderable rate. Shows you just how much pressure there is in that system. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I think we'll get this built. We'll cycle a bad tide. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to have to stop. Because I need to go do other things. And I need to get this video edited and rendered and things. So. We can make a sneaky bit of passage there, which will help us out, which is very good. We like a sneaky passage. Yeah, there's so much water coming through there. Yeah, look. I had forgotten how much water flows through this map. I think we need to remove these. Because they're causing us issues now. Hopefully that will resolve this problem. I think it's starting to. I assume that's what's causing the flooding there. Having that holding that back. Oh, it's all gone wrong at the end. Let's prioritize that, shall we? Suddenly the map looks very different. Not in a way we'd hoped. Thankfully we have a lot of supplies and an army of builder bots. Get this stuff done. Oh, it all goes wrong at the end, doesn't it? It all goes wrong at the end. I think I completely underestimated how much water was going to come out of this darn thing. But anyway. Can we run at 10 times speed? And I could shut this and it would solve the problem, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually deal with the problem. Interesting. Water flow suddenly dropping. Drought approaching. Bad tide approaching. Perfect. Water flow increasing. That's really weird the way that behavior changed with the sluices being built rather than the hole being there. We're still flooded. In fact, we're worse flooded. Oh well. It'll be unflooded in 2.5 days. Yeah, that's interesting because they're now letting all of the water through. The sluices let more water through than the hole did. I guess this is like an edges thing versus a sluice capacity thing. And now we're getting a dribble of water, so... Interesting. Always learning with this game. Always learning. And I think we're about to have a pretty darn painful lesson. But we may as well. Development controls. Where's the button? Jump to next season. There we go. Let's slow things down. Right, pause. Because I set them to open, not auto, didn't I? Yes, you did. Because you're a dummy. So, auto. That's probably going to cause our reservoir to completely empty. Right, that should shut those. And we should be about to see a fountain of bad water come flying out of here. Yep. That's like the whole map's worth of water supply. I just hope this can cope with it. Oops. Yeah. It's sort of coping. Not really. Is it going to end up flowing back out through there? That is so much water, isn't it? But it sort of works. It looks interesting. It's doing its thing. Forgive the dev controls. I've got to see this. At this point, it doesn't matter, I don't think. Oh, I'm surprised that's more than 3 CMS. Anyway, that sort of worked. Our reservoir is sort of clean. Yep. Awesome. We've got power. We are done, folks. let's set the wander off. Thank you to Bobingabout for this absolutely awesome mod, without which this wouldn't be possible. Oh, I'm really sorry. Thank you to the map creator, whose name has just jumped out of my head, for this awesome map as well. Thank you to all of you for your comments throughout this series. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We will be back with something new in a few days. I need to do one more episode on Forsaken Cove, as I said. And then we're going to switch to the Iron Teeth in update 7. I'm probably going to try one of the updated base game maps to see what they've done with those. Yeah, I will. I might wait a few days just to let some of the key mods get updated. So yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye for now.